Hi guys, it's Rick Shiels down here at Quest Golf Academy here at Prairie Sports Village. I'm going to be testing the Taylormade milled grind wedges. I did some testing about 2 weeks ago over in Spain when I was at Lumine Golf Resort out on the golf course, and I made loads of notes on the feelings I was getting from these wedges. I want to talk about those, and I'm going to come inside now into the Golf Academy, hit some on GC2 and HMT, and just show you what the flight is like, and also what the spin's looking like when it hits the green from 100 yards, and I'll do some shots from 40 yards as well, so we can kind of see the difference between those shots. So let me talk about the wedges first. The whole idea of these wedges is precision. They're saying now, Taylormade is saying that these have been machine grinded to get the most accurate measurements possible on the way that these golf clubs have been made and milled. And I'll be honest, I just presumed that was the case anyway. I just presumed that was the case. How they did it in the past, apparently, certainly for the better players, they would almost hand grind it and get it perfect for the tour players. But now these new wedges are the same wedges that you would see a tour player using as the average golfer would use. They're the same, exactly the same, because they can now precision mill these golf clubs. What I like about them is the finish on the golf club. I think looks great. This chrome finish with this ribbed bottom. I love that ribbed bottom. That's apparently the machine ribbing at the bottom. They didn't want it too polished. And I love that look. I think that looks really smart. Along the back of the golf club, you've got this new MG red logo, which is the cool little design there in the bottom, the toe of the club, the high toe of the club. But then where it says milled grind, I hate that milled grind. It just looks dead cheap and nasty. It almost looks like Comic Sans text. It almost looks like they've made so much effect to get the club head precise, they forgot the text on the back. That's a shame. But it's hardly anything, but I just wanted to point out, it just doesn't look as sharp as it should do. This is a carbon steel head, so it's not forged. There is a shaft bore through that goes all the way to the other side of the golf club, and that is then filled with a soft polymer, which is helping move the centre of gravity nearer to the middle of the face. It has got a very long neck on the golf club. You see that a lot with Taylormade wedges, a real long hosel. And it comes in 3 different bounce settings: standard bounce, high bounce and low bounce. SB, HB, LB. I'm going to go SB first, standard bounce. So when I was over in Spain, when I was over in Lumine, I had an opportunity to hit these wedges out the bunker, chipping by the side of the green and hitting some pitch shots as well. I didn't have any data with me because I just wanted to get the feel. And I made some notes. And I want to go through those notes now while I'm just showing you those clips. What I was getting from the feel of these wedges, and this is without any data at all, where is it now? Taylormade on the milled grind wedges, I was getting soft feel on the chip shots. I felt like the chip shots around the green were very, very soft. Hard to get any real feel out the bunker, I must admit, because of the sand, but I was still getting soft feel. And I've put here, and I don't know why I've described it like this, I found them very whizzy. Like I felt like the club was whizzing through the golf ball, and I was seeing a lot of spin. I don't know why I've described it like that, because I've never described a wedge like that before, but that was what I was experiencing at the time, a whizzy feel. On a longer shot, a pitch shot, I was getting a very different feel. For me, it felt harder, and it had good spin. I'm not saying outstanding spin, but it had good spin. But I was getting what I've described as a hard feel on the fuller shots. But it was interesting testing it there, and I did it without any talking to camera because I wanted to really concentrate on the feelings I was getting from the actual golf club. Now we've come back inside. I'm hitting real Pro V1s on GC2 and HMT. I'm going to pitch them out there at 100 just so we can see the flight and see how it reacts, and also pitch them out there at 40 and we can look at some data as well. Like I said, I'm going standard bounce here, which on the 56 degree, I've got this one in 12 degrees, but I think there's a little bit of tolerance. I think it goes down to 10 degrees and up to 14 degrees on the standard bounce. So this is just kind of normal ground terrain really, wedge. Right, 100-yard shots. I'm still getting that hard feel off the head. They don't feel like soft wedges. That felt like it came off really kind of like thumpy, hard feel. I like the performance. That's pitched into the distance that I wanted it to pitch, and I had a little bit of backspin. Let's hit a few more and I'll show you some data towards the end. A fraction out the bottom groove, but still felt like a hard hit. Decent spin numbers again, just popped in there, probably around about 10,000. I'm going to pull them all up in a moment. I love the shape of this head. I think that sits behind the golf ball perfectly. I love the fact that the bottom of the golf club is rounded, yet when I look down at it, it's very sharp looking. So it's kind of got a rounded edge to from the cutaway of the face underneath the golf club. But actually, looking down, that looks mega, mega sharp. And I do love the finish. I think that's a lovely looking wedge. I love the chrome. Chrome sometimes it puts me off when I go more loft. When I go into like a 60 degree, I don't like it to be chrome, just because of the glare off the sun. Let's go a couple more wedges into that 100 yards. Yeah, it's definitely the sensation I get. It's a slightly kind of clickier, harder feel. Exactly the same feeling I was getting from the pitch shots when I was out on the golf course at Lumine. Let's throw in those numbers. Let me pull those up so you can see the 100-yard shot numbers. Let's see what they were kind of spinning at. So spin rate there for the average carry distance though was 103 yards, so a little bit bigger. Average spin rate there was 10,310. So that's not bad for a full 100-yard shot. 10,000. Again, I didn't see that on the golf course because I didn't have the launch monitor on purpose. I wanted to just test the feel of the wedges, not so much the spin numbers. And again, I wouldn't read loads into that spin numbers, but it's giving you an idea. I'm going to do loads more wedge testing, so you'll be able to see and I'm going to do all those wedge testing today. So you'll be able to see how those numbers may be changing through the review, so you can get a bit of an inkling of, is there a wedge that spins a little bit more, or is there a wedge that spins less? So that's the 100-yard shot. Some decent numbers in there. Not super high spin and quite a hard feel. So let me go back to, I'm going to do 50 yards actually, just because it's easier to do. We have 50-yard wedge shots. Let's see if we can get some numbers off that. And I'm going to change the bounce. I'm going to go for the high bounce. Yeah, so the high bounce is 13 degrees. It's got an inch thick sole. It's quite a thick sole. It's also got a little bit more of a cutaway along the heel and the toe to allow that face to be open or closed. And you see that as well in the low bounce. In the low bounce, which typically has bounce degrees of less than double figures, so it's only got 9 degree, that's got quite a distinguished bounce grind as well there, so you can open the face and close it if necessary. That's on the low bounce setting. Low bounce, if you're ever confused, low bounce would dig into the floor more. So if you're a bit more of a hit down, take divot, low bounce, you're not going to get a lot of protection. It's going to go into the floor and keep going down. If you're quite a nippy player off the surface, you can afford to play low bounce. If you are a hit down and take a lot of surface and you wanted to reduce that, then going for slightly more higher bounce would help you reduce that. The club won't go into the floor quite as much, it'll start to come out. It's going to help you a fraction more. So let's go 50 yards with the 56 degree high bounce. Let's get some numbers from here again, see if we can get some different feels as well. I'll take that pitch distance-wise. Doesn't feel soft. I kind of wanted it to as well. I was hoping it would feel a little bit softer off the head. When I first hit him from around the green and a little bit out the bunker, I was getting that soft feel. But as I started to get into longer shots, they started to harden up the face. And therefore, not quite as nice a feel. That was off the bottom. That was a thinny one. Let's see how that's kind of reacting there. It's perfectly on line. That was off the bottom, so I reckon the spin rate might be a little bit higher on that just because I caught it a fraction off the bottom on that one. 45 carry distance. Let's go one more with the 50-yard shots. More of a low flighter in there. Good for distance, good for total distance anyway. I think the spin number you'll probably see on the second one bounce up. Let me see if that's the case. Oh, I didn't take out the other ones. Let me just take out the 100-yard shots. 5,700 RPM on the 50-yard shot, so nearly 6,000. But the thin one, the second one along there, was 6,700 just because I caught it a little bit thin. The one thing with wedge spin numbers, it is dependent on strike location. On a fuller shot, I feel like I can guarantee it more. On the shorter shot, I don't feel like I can personally strike the location as consistently in the right part of the face. I slightly hit more low, so I'll get a few more erratic spin numbers, but it still managed, you still saw how it reacted into the green there, in the simulation green. As a feel of wedge, they're just hard. I kind of really wish they were softer. As a look of a wedge, I absolutely love the look of the golf club, apart from that Comic Sans looking milled grind at the back. Just looks cheap. Everything else I think is an amazing looking club. I like this option of the fact that you've actually got real machine precise grinding. I love the curvedness of the face into the sole, but then when you sit it down, it is super sharp. I don't wonder if this comes in a different finish. I think if it came in a black finish on a more lofted wedge, perfect. So I think if I was testing these in 60 degree, I don't believe that the chrome would look as good. I think I'd get too much glaring. I like them. Apart from that, the harder feel, I would just wish it was a little bit softer feel, but as a looking club, I do like it a lot. Taylormade milled grind wedges. Great looking club. Loads of different options in bounce settings. Simplified the idea as well by calling them standard bounce, low bounce, high bounce. I think that's a lot more simplified than some other manufacturers that do it. I think it's a good looking wedge. A couple of little finer details could have been worked on, but apart from that, good performing, good looks, and overall I think a wedge that a lot of players would like. A lot of players would like, actually. A lot of tour players are using these. Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, hit that thumbs up button. Comment below, what do you think about the Taylormade wedge? I always like to do this test as well. Let's try and get the feel. Yeah, it's like, just clicky. They're just a little bit clicky. A little bit too hard for my liking. I just want them to be a little bit softer. So guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe down below. Comment, what do you think of the Taylormade wedges? Loads more wedges coming up soon, so you're going to be able to see different comparisons within numbers. That was spinning at just over 10,000 RPM on full shots, and with a thin shot, about 5.5, just over 5,500 on a 50-yard shot. Feel-wise, soft on short shots, but harder after that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.